Hi, everyone, and welcome to Fashion Decipher. My name is Sean Williams, and today we have a really awesome guest. Her name is Chanel Ford. She is the creator of HAUS, and she is going to help us create a sustainable and fashionable home. And, all that's going on in the world. And, we all have to be conscious of how we treat the environment, how we treat ourselves, especially with COVID, how we can cleanse our home. And she's going to definitely help give us some pointers on that. Chanel, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I just want to say, I love your brand, and I really love what you're doing with House of Home. What made you decide to be a Chandler? What made you decide to be an entrepreneur and create House of Home, like just a sustainable brand for anyone's home?
Thank you. So it has been a long time coming for House of Home for sure. When I look back at a lot of things that I put in place, like I started the Twitter account in 2014. I got the LLC in 2014. So it's clearly it was in my brain for a while. I just didn't exactly have all of the details worked out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, And as I started to become more and more aligned with my purpose and really, becoming a vegan and becoming more sustainable, then I really kind of saw the vision for how I wanted the brand to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I was able to kind of come into what it is today. But I feel like I've always had a entrepreneur spirit. When
Mm-hmm.
I was younger, I always said that I was going to become a wedding dress designer and do all these fun things. So I guess I always wanted to work for myself.
No, that I definitely understand your standpoint with that. That's why Fashion Decipher podcast exists. So I definitely get that. But people sometimes get afraid of sustainability because they think that it's, oh, I got to do all this huge retrofitting of my house to make it efficient. Whether that's certain appliances have to be a certain way. You have to do an economical, an environmental, and social standpoint. And they think I have to do all these things to fix my house to be sustainable. But I think you could start on a very small level. What do you think, Chanel?
I agree wholeheartedly. And I think a lot of people are more sustainable than they realize.
Mm.
We as people tend to recycle without even thinking about it. And it's one of those things that's just habitual. I think especially in people of color, we don't realize how sustainable we really are because we've had to be.
Hmm.
I've never gone to my grandma's house and looked at a country crock container and thought that there was actually butter in it. No, it's been reused for something. I've never thrown out a plastic bag. It turns into a garbage bag. It turns into a conditioning
Correct.
cap. It turns into something else. So there's all these ways that we've been sustainable this entire time. And it's now just kind of taking it to the next level or just recognizing that you're doing it and doing a little bit more. I tell people all the time, it's not a few people being zero waste and getting it 100% right. It's everybody doing a little bit of it
Hmm.
all of the time. And it really does make such a huge difference. And little things go such a long way.
And I totally agree with that. Because if you think about it, it doesn't mean that you can't live without luxuries in life. No one says that you can't have, you have to go completely sustainable. I mean, that would be great, but it doesn't mean that you can't live without certain luxuries. But like you said, the little things, and like you said, Black people have always consistently done, turn off the lights. My grandmother was like, turn off the lights, turn off the lights. You know what I
Right.
mean? Use God's light. That's, open up the shades, like you said, reusing shopping bags, recycling, and we don't even realize it. And also donating items, how many hand-me-downs we have all had. So you're right, we do it and we don't even realize that we're doing it. And how does your brand help fit in with sustainability? How can people shop House of Home and use it for a sustainable standpoint?
Yeah. So my entire mission with House of Home is making the integration of sustainability seamless. No one wants to be inconvenienced in any way, shape, or form. And no one really wants to give up the nice things that they have in life. And so that's where we come in. So, say for example, the candle line that I have, everything about it is made sustainably. The glass that we use for the jars are recyclable. The wax that we use is coconut wax. So it's ethically sourced. It's made from the meat of the coconut. So it doesn't give off any bad chemicals because it literally just is essentially just coconut oil. The wooden wicks that we use are made from FSC certified mills. So we're not cutting down trees to make these wicks or anything like that. even down to the fragrance that we use is perfume grade. So you're not like taking any extra chemicals. It's safe for your skin, things like that. So being able to shop and not have to think twice whether something is sustainable or not, I think is the most important factor. And that's something I picked up from being vegan. Like once you turn vegan, like you have to read every single back of the package to see if it is vegan or not. And it's like, you just want to be able to buy things without thinking about it. So I wanted to be able to create a brand where you didn't have to think about it. Like, you know, everything that you get from me is going to be sustainable.
And Chanel, like, what is the meaning of your brand name, House of Home? Like, where did it come from? What inspired you to use that name?
So I definitely wanted to use almost like a play on words. So house is spelled HAUS, which is how you say house in several different languages. And then, you know, home. So like, these are the things that make your house a home. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all been there. Like, oh, my wife makes my house a home, or, you know, my kids make my house a home. We want to be able to provide the little, just the little things that are going to make your house a home and make your house really a sustainable home. So that really was just a play on words for me.
Oh, I love it. I think that is very creative. And, you know, and how do you think that, like with your candle line, like how can a person decide, okay, I know I want to make my living room a certain way. How can purchasing candles from House of Home can elevate their decor, whether it's the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom? What would you suggest?
I definitely love an aesthetic. Like I am, it's the designer in me. Like everything is so carefully curated. And that's why my, you know, candles come in two different colors. They come in a black jar and a white jar. And, you know, those are two great shades that can pretty much fit in anywhere. And even down to the label, like everything is very, very well thought out because I wanted it to be able to blend in into any aesthetic, but adding like an air of sophistication to it. So, you know, I think a lot of that also goes into the scent that you're choosing. What's the mood you're looking to create? And then go off of that. So for me, when I created the lemon and mint candle, for example, I really was thinking about clean spaces. So like that candle really truly is meant for places like the kitchen and the bathroom, because it has that, you know, crisp, clean, citrusy scent. When I created tobacco and vanilla and rosemary and vanilla, I was thinking more cozy feel. So I'm thinking more bedroom and living room, like by the fireplace, or, you know, kind of cozied up in a corner with a book. So those are kind of the thought processes that I have in mind. And that's what I really try to tell people when they're thinking about a scent, and thinking about like, you know, what do I want to buy? I always say like, what are you trying to get out of it? What kind of mood are you trying to set? And what do you envision? And then shop that way.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I totally love that idea of having like citrusy in the kitchen and vanilla in the bedroom. I definitely like that idea. That's a really good way to shop candles. You know, I never thought of that at all. Like how would you suggest someone also to like stage? Like, let's say you have the candle on your table or your end table or a bookcase. How would you suggest people stage it? Like, you know, sometimes you could have table reading books or maybe a vase. Like, how would you like think to put it? Is it closer to a window? Like, what would you think or suggest for consumers that purchase from House of Home to kind of stage the candle?
Definitely. I always say that the candle is an accent. It shouldn't be the focal point. It shouldn't be the thing that stands out. So I always like personally, like I love to put my candle on like a stack of like coffee table books, like you said. They're always next to like my plants, not on them. Please don't burn anything down, guys. Safety first. But like I always keep a candle next to my snake plant, which looks really cool because of the height difference of the vase that my snake plant is in next to the height of the candle. Always looks really nice. I do sometimes keep them on my window. So like in my kitchen, they're lined up on the windowsill. I keep like 3 of them there, just as an extra cute little placement. So when like the blinds are up, you have like these multi-level things and your eye kind of goes in a few different directions, which is nice. But again, in a subtle way. So it's not overbearing. I also always love candles on top of the mantle if you have a fireplace or you have a mantle in your living room. It's just something about it. When it's mixed in with like the garland from like Christmas and all that stuff, it just looks so pretty. And it's just like such an extra little pop of pizzazz.
I definitely like that. It definitely creates a mood. I also see, Chanel, on your website and as well as on your Instagram page, you also sell sage. So let me tell you, I'm a sage person all day. I think we need to sage 2020. And
Yes.
2021 is starting kind of rocky. So if we could sage a year, it definitely was that. And, sage for me, I know my parents, my father more burned sage than my mom. I know it has such great benefits of like, clarity and spiritual awareness and wisdom. And I do believe some scientists had said like, it can clear like airborne bacteria. I'm not saying it clears COVID, people, don't go with that. But it can like clear like some airborne, bacteria, but you also need to open the windows. So, from a spiritual sense, as my father would do it, you burn sage, you open the windows, the evil gets out. We even sage cars, like brand new cars. So, that's just being Southern. So like for you, like, what do you suggest with the sage that you sell on your website? And is it different versions? Because I know like white sage is different from, I think blue, I believe. I'm not good with all the terms. I know they also like wrap it with lavender. So what would you suggest someone who's just getting into like smudging and saging of a home? What would you suggest that they do?
Yes, I sage everything. I sage all the time.
That's right. I know that's right.
I'm very, very protective of my energy, so it's like sage and Palo Santo on deck at all times. Yeah, there definitely are. There's so many different types of, sage that's out there, and just smudge sticks in general. I always say don't overwhelm yourself with any of it, which is why I sell white sage.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a general use smudge stick that I wanted to make something for everyone, whether you're in the beginning of, learning about it or if you're more in depth and involved. White sage is antimicrobial, so it does have that antibacterial properties into it, so it actually does clean the air. But it also is really good for a new home because it is new energy. It really does do a good job at, once you're moving into a space, before you move any of your furniture in there, once you've gotten the keys to your new place, please open up those windows, open the doors, and just go through it and clean the air and create brand new energy. You want to bring in you don't want whatever was there before to be lingering. Like, no, thank you. You just want a fresh start. So white sage is really good for like a fresh, clean slate, particularly in a home or a new space.
Now, you also mentioned Palo Santo. Okay, so I'm not really new. I'm new on that. I don't really use it as much as I have sage, like, traditionally with my family. Like, what's the difference and what does Palo Santo do in like, is it different than what sage does?
Yes. So Palo Santo, I love. It just is a smudge stick. If you look at it, it's actually like a piece of wood, which is different from like the herb that sage is. Palo Santo is indigenous to like Peru and Ecuador, which is where I source mine, from a company that actually replants Palo Santo as they sell it, because Palo Santo right now is endangered. So Palo Santo is also, it clears energy, but only negative energy. So say you've got a good vibe going in your house, but you had company come over. You don't necessarily need to sage your whole house again, right? You just want to get rid of the energy that was there. You can Palo Santo and it will get rid of any negative energy that was there. I like to use it a lot when I'm in a creative space, because it keeps my creative juices flowing. Like, so any negative energy is going, but all the positive and abundant energy is staying there. So that's why I like Palo Santo, and I like to, use them alternatively, because I don't always necessarily want to get rid of all the energy in a space. I just want to, make sure that it's a vibe.
Right. The good energy's in there. Okay, so now I know what to use it for, because I do have a stick after I bought like a sage pack. It came with a stick. This is like a year or two ago, but I never used it. So that's why I was like, when I speak to Chanel, I'm gonna ask her because she's the expert on this. Like, what's the difference? Okay, that's very good to know.
It also smells really good because it's like tree and it has like the sap in it. I love the way it smells. It smells really nice.
Oh, that is amazing. So, Chanel, you talked about your candles and you make them like yourself, like every individual candle, like, and what goes into the process and how do you pick scents? Like, how do you know what to mix? Because I think you have like a vanilla and tobacco one. Like, how do you think of what scents and fragrances will work well with each other?
Lots of trial and error. But yes, every candle is hand poured, handmade, hand measured out by me. So the first thing I do is think about scents that aren't really out there, that I don't see often, because I want to be really unique in that way. I don't want to be run of the mill in terms of this. Everyone makes a candle, so it's like, what are you going to do to stand out? So I really think about scents, and I think about my travels and things that I've seen in life, and spices that I've smelled in different places and things like that, and I try to bring that back. Like tobacco and vanilla. My family is also from the South, and in North Carolina they have all the tobacco fields, and fresh tobacco smells amazing. Like tobacco leaves smell absolutely amazing. Newports stink. Yeah. But like pipe tobacco and tobacco leaves actually smell really, really good. And it's like, there's just like a certain just masculine scent to it that I just really, really love. And so what I did, I took that and I wanted to make it so I knew I wanted it to be a unisex scent. I knew that I wanted to attract a male customer, but I know, generally speaking, women are typically candle buyers. So I mixed it with the vanilla because I wanted something that will complement the tobacco, but not overbear it and make the tobacco less noticeable. So I really wanted something that would all just enhance the way the tobacco smelled. So that's how the tobacco and vanilla was born. It continues to be the #1 seller. Overall, like tenfold. It is the #1 seller among men, and men actually are my top 3 customers are all men, which I think is really interesting. And they love tobacco and vanilla.
So interesting. Like I guess when you first created that, I mean, even though you had them in mind, you didn't think that would be the case, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I love that. And I know this holiday season you were really busy. I know holiday, is wrapped up, but what type of scents do you suggest? Like, I mean, I know instead of just pine, what do you suggest if people like have, if they're not able to have a tree, and they want to create a sense of like holiday? You mentioned the garland. What scents would you put? Like, let's say they do just put up garland and they want to put like a scent to, represent tree outside of pine. What would you suggest people use?
So I have my rosemary and vanilla candle, and I would 100% recommend that. Because rosemary, is herb, it has kind of like, I don't say the piney scent, but it has like that woodsy kind of smell to it, without being too overbearing. And it tends to be a scent that is generally accepted by everyone. I would say that rosemary and vanilla is one of the more popular scents because so many people like it. Vanilla across the board tends to be a scent that most people like. And rosemary is something that so many people cook with and actually enjoy, that I would 100% recommend that for a holiday scent. I also had during the holidays frankincense and myrrh as one of the holiday scents that did really, really well. So if you're into more of a musky incense type of, aesthetic for the home, then I would definitely suggest that one too.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because I mean I didn't have a tree this year, so I was wondering. I was like, what could I do like instead? Like that's a good way to put that. I mean, I also seen, Chanel, on your website, you also do like monthly subscription boxes. What would people expect, through a subscription box from House of Home?
So I think, and what the idea behind it is, and if anyone has my subscription box and would like to say anything after this, please do. My entire goal with that was to have people really experience the collection of scents. So many people I have that have, buy one scent and then had no idea that another scent they liked so much. Like I had a really good friend who loved tobacco and vanilla, only went tobacco and vanilla. And then one time I gifted her mulberry and it's her favorite scent. That's all she can think about. That's all she wants. And she had no idea because, she's like, oh, I found this scent that I really, really like. And it's completely different. So why would I don't think I would like a mulberry because that smells fruity and I really love this tobacco scent. Lo and behold, like mulberry is her favorite thing on the planet and she can't get enough of it. So I really wanted to create an experience for people, it definitely lends itself to people who burn candles a lot and, you know, want to make sure that they always have one. Because I feel like that's a thing too. People always tend to forget, like, oh my gosh, I ran out of my candle, and you don't know until it's too late and the candle's not lighting. But, you know, really being able to experience the different scents and the different collections in real time. So it's always nice to have like a little surprise.
Yeah, I mean, because who doesn't want to come home to a nice box? I mean, even though you bought it yourself, but still, I mean, but it's also good if someone gifts that to you, you know?
Yes,
So if you guys want to gift someone a gift box through House of Home, I would definitely think the subscription box is like a good way to do so. What do you see like House of Home doing like in the next coming year? Like, what are some of the goals that you feel the brand would have? Either maybe furthering sustainability, maybe like home decor, because I see some of the posts that you have on Instagram. You really help people curate a space within the home and giving suggestions. I know there's a lot of like clean space kitchens, and you know you showcase that with the candle. Where do you see House of Home going within this year?
Oh, so many fun things are happening this year. I'm so excited. This spring, just in time for spring cleaning, I'm actually launching a sustainability box, several of them. And it really is like the starter kit if you want to integrate sustainability into your life. So I've got one for the kitchen. I'm going to have one for the bathroom and one for your laundry. So really being able to have an entire box of goodies that are going to, you know, take your kitchen to where, or your room to wherever it is now and make it more sustainable. So like solid dish soap and, you know, eco-friendly dish sponges and things like that that are really going to make all the difference. And it doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not. Like, these are very easy swaps that are going to make such a huge impact. You know, using reusable paper towels, like that's going to be in there. Like, one roll of reusable paper towels is equivalent to 6 months of purchasing like paper towels from the store.
And that's key, because you remember the lines for paper towel, like during the lockdown. I was like, what the lines
Also acting a fool in Costco over paper towel.
Just hoarding it. It was like bizarre. Like, one of my friends uses a lot of like baking soda, you know, as like a base for a lot of like, let's say carpet deodorizer or cleaning like the couch or something, like, you know, the fabric. Is baking soda going to be a base of some of your products? Would you be using that?
Yeah, so I actually use baking soda a lot. I actually use baking soda in a lot of cleaning products, especially like when cleaning out a drain. So like if your tub, like instead of buying Drano, I always use baking soda and vinegar and then pour boiling hot water. It works just as good as Drano, if not better, and then you're not putting chemicals back into like the sewage pipes. I use baking soda to help whiten my teeth. I use activated charcoal and baking soda. Baking soda just works for so many things. It, you know, reacts. So like I use baking soda and vinegar. It definitely gets any stains out. It's actually a really good hack if you get like a stain on like your mattress or anything like white and light. It lifts everything up. That's essentially what OxyClean is. Like OxyClean is just chemically made and synthetically made baking soda and vinegar.
Yeah, it's so funny because like Kevin has this, you know, who also co-hosts with me sometimes. Kevin has this mix that he does, which is like baking soda, vinegar, and then what he does to cut the vinegar, he puts like citrus, like rinds of like citrus, whether it's oranges, like oranges, and he sits there. So like after a while, because you know, like sometimes that vinegar is very overpowering. Yeah. And then when it sits there, it kind of kills that smell. Like, if some people can't stand it, but it does. So that actually does work.
Yes, I definitely suggest it. You know, and if you do, I understand people, you know, are sometimes time constrained, and if you don't have like a week or two to let it sit, something as easily as like essential oils, you can put whatever essential oils you want in there, and it'll work just the same to cut that vinegar smell, because vinegar doesn't smell
strong. I mean, I always have these it's off topic, but I always have these like hard flashbacks to like Catholic school, when people like when the children would like throw up and then they would pour like vinegar and like sawdust on it. It is like the worst. I'm traumatized.
It is a real PTSD situation. Like, as soon as you said that, like I had so many instances of seeing that, like in the back of my
just horrible. And let me ask you, because I know, Chanel, like you're pro pets, and your family has this like adorable corgi. I can't take it. So adorable. Like, what do you like when it comes to sustainable products in the home? They're also pet safe, right?
Yes, and that's really big for me. We have so many animals. And I have an English bulldog, and she's literally
Oh.
allergic to everything. Like, homegirl has to take an allergy pill every day. Like, it's it's a lot. So we like to make sure that we are only using things that are safe for them, and that, you know, they can, God forbid they ingest it, like they'll be okay.
Right.
So like even down to like our carpet cleaner, everything like that, we only use sustainable items that are fine for them to, you know, be in the house with and you know, take in. The thing is, like, if you don't want your dogs to smell it, like, you don't want yourself to really smell it or be around it either. So
Agreed.
like let's think about that too. So yeah, we definitely like to only use things that are safe for everyone.
And would you guys think that, do you think House of Home will be doing like pet safe products? I mean, like maybe, or pet geared products. Like, I mean, let's say if you're washing the dog's bed, are all like the laundry or the soap items that you may be introducing, would they also be like pet friendly, or are you gonna promote them as pet products?
Oh, I mean, they'll definitely be pet friendly, but I think maybe it'll be cool if I want to come up with something that's specific for pets. That'll be really
Right?
cool. Because it's just necessary. Like, it doesn't matter how, like, we're clean freaks, but it doesn't matter how clean you are. When you have pets, like, you just need things that are geared toward them. I would
Mhm.
love to have like some sustainable pet products. I want to think on that. I need to.
Yeah, because I mean, we know like during the quarantine, a lot of people were home and they were lonely, and a lot of people decided to adopt pets, like rescues. So
Mhm.
like, you know, now they may not know the way to kind of care for them in a way that is actually like safe, and how to you know, rebuild their environment. When you don't have a pet, you don't really know what it is to have an environment to clean with pets around. So maybe that might be really cool. I definitely know some friends who definitely partake in purchasing those.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. I love it. See, this is great. More things. Yeah, no, I think it's so important. So many people, you know, because you just don't know. You
Mhm.
know, there are certain plants that I had to get rid of because while my corgi is very smart, my bulldog is a little she's special. And she likes to eat everything, and you know, certain plants just aren't good for dogs to, you know, ingest and things like that. So there were a few plants I had to get rid of, and or, you know, just keep higher so she can get to them. So yeah, I definitely think that there are some things that we can come out with that will help and benefit you know, the pets specifically. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
I know you also have a blog on your website. Like in that blog, do you specifically like, do you go through these things? Like, do you talk about the process of sustainability? Because just in case when people now visit your website, they also go, okay, I like what Chanel said about this, but how can I learn more? Is that where they would be able to go to read more about like your process and your standpoint on sustainability?
Yeah, so I have been working on the blog, and it's going to get really big this year, on really diving deep into sustainability, and really diving deep into what that looks like from many different standpoints and viewpoints, because, you know, it's sustainability isn't one size fits all for everyone.
Mhm.
Um, and I really want to make sure that that is conveyed in, you know, what that looks like. So I definitely want to, you know, come out with guides and things like that for people. But I definitely dive deeper because, you know, I have space for more characters on a blog than I do on Instagram, to really just, you know, teach people and educate people more on a sustainable lifestyle.
I love that. And I know you have partaken in a couple of fairs this holiday season. Do you see yourself doing any like fairs going towards the spring or the summer? You know, kind of like places where they have like the farmers market, like in Union Square. Like, would House of Home be anywhere, these places that you can kind of interact with people? Do you look forward to doing any of this?
Yes, that's what I really wanted to do last summer, but, you know, thanks, Rona.
Hmm.
Um, but this summer, I definitely think that we'll have the opportunity to do that. And I really, truly do want to get out there and connect with people. Over the holidays, I had a really good time being able to speak with people more about sustainability. And you'd be surprised by how many people, not just in the cities, but like in the suburbs, that really do want to become more sustainable and really want to learn, but they really just don't know. And it's such an overwhelming thing that they don't know where to start, really. So I want to be able to have those, you know, conversations with people and dive deeper, because I think face-to-face conversations and just being face-to-face with people just makes all the difference. So being able to connect with people in that way, I really miss. So I'm definitely going to be doing lots of stuff as safely as possible this summer for sure.
I'm definitely gonna look forward to that. And and where, Chanel, can people, I know we mentioned House of Home, but I don't know if you want to give the direct name of the website and the Instagram page so people could actually go and frequent and, read all the things that you have to say about sustainability and creating a great, fashionable, yet sustainable home.
Yes. So we are at houseofhome.com, HAUSAHOME.com. We are on Instagram and Twitter at House of Home, HAUSAHOME. And we also have a Facebook if you're still on Facebook. It is at House of Home NY. So at HAUSAHOMENY.
I love it. And I love what you're doing, Chanel. I think it's so commendable. I'm learning as I, view your posts and I like them. And I know you do a lot of good IG stories. So I learn a lot of like how-tos and instructions, and I think they're great. And I really have to actually like start purchasing, and just frequent your brand more, because it's definitely something great to support, and I'm teaching myself how to be more sustainable. And I think that's great, Chanel.
I love it. Thank you. That's what I love to hear. Like, I love to hear that even if like one thing resonates with someone, like then I've done my job. Like if you decide that you just want to start using a reusable water bottle, or you want to stop using, plastic shopping bags, then look, that's one less shopping bag that's in the world. That's, so many plastic water bottles saved, like just by that one thing. So that's all I want to do.
I love it, Chanel. And definitely everyone, please, please, please go visit House of Home. You're gonna learn, you can have a sustainable home and it could definitely be fashionable. And Chanel, thank you so much for appearing on Fashion Decipher.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hi guys, it's Sean. Make sure you visit our website, fashiondecipher.com, to get a visual on what we're talking to you about. Check out pics from events, of guest speakers, and exhibits. If you miss anything we post, you can visit our archives page. Also, while you're there, hit that subscribe button, leave your email, and if you like, a comment. Tell us what you think or what you would want to hear on an upcoming episode. Don't forget to follow and friend Fashion Decipher on social media. Check out what we're up to. Speak with you next week.